over the latest 2016 U.S. presidential elections. As we all know, as we said in the intro, that Donald Trump, the U.S. real estate developer, will be taking over on January 20th this year into the Oval Office, the 45th president for the United States. He took over, and with him, the Republicans are going to take over, and Democrats are going to withdraw from the political scene. They have been dominating since 2006. Now it's time for the Republicans. There has been divisions over Donald Trump that has never been witnessed like that in the United States, even inside the Republicans themselves, and we have seen that. The divisions are occurring until this very moment. Protests have been waged all over the United States, in New York and in the other states, protesting or objecting to the rhetoric of Donald Trump, rejecting him as a U.S. president for the United States. There has been also some agreements over Donald Trump, because he is against, one of his priorities is fighting terrorism, which is a universal target right now currently. So we are going to get into more details concerning the election of Donald Trump, the reasons behind his shocking victory to the whole world, and how the United States is going to be functioning under Donald Trump. What is going to be the policy? Is it going to be a change of policy, especially the foreign policy in the Middle East, and in particular the Middle East? We're going to talk about the implications of Donald Trump, the 45th U.S. president, and the implication of this on the Middle East. We're very delighted to be having with us Dr. Hussein Shariba, the financial expert. Good morning, Dr. Shariba.
Good morning, ma'am.
A very good morning to you, sir. As Dina said, it's about what's going on in America. And as far as we know that you've been there and you've been witnessing the whole story, tell us first, before going into details, what was the atmosphere, and if you've expected that Trump is going to make it?
Donald Trump is a successful businessman in a particular part,
yes,
not in every part. And he has his own way, his own ideas, everything to do with. But is United States a country which is run by one-man show, or it is run with a constitution, with the people, with the Congress, with this Pentagon, with lots of things? This is the question. So the United States is run with the constitution and everything like this, and it's going to go. Donald Trump, whatever he says during the election, it is for the election.
Yeah.
When it comes to reality, everything has to be revised. You have watched, even when he was attending a conference meeting with the recent President Obama, he have changed his idea about medical insurance. It's totally different. Donald Trump came up with an idea about, with the Jewish community, about Jerusalem, and changing the embassy from there to Al-Quds, which is the main land of the Arabs.
Yeah.
So he can say anything, whatever he wants, but when it comes to reality, and once it comes to the people who really think for the benefit of the United States, they would tell him not to step into this or do that. So Donald Trump is not going to be a one-man show. It is the whole community who is organizing the United States, and we hope that the United States is going to be in a better situation. But was Donald Trump was elected and we need him this time? Yes. Why?
We?
Yes. Why?
We hear you.
No, when I say we, United States.
Okay.
This is for one simple thing. Obama's ideas and his community were doing a very excellent job for the people of the United States in the United States. But the outer part, United States have lost the confidence between other nations. One of them is really, and then that's a really big rock between the United States and China. And that's an economy, you're talking billions. You're not talking anything. The second thing is Russia. The third thing with the Middle East. So what's going on? So we are not in need to lose power in these things, and because this we have a very huge organization of weapon industry, because this is part of the main income of the United States. So if you don't sell the weapons of the United States everywhere, you are a loser.
Sure.
So this is why they need to revise this. So this is why the success of Clinton was not on the target. But for the people of the United States, it was the target. But for outside, no. This is why the group have chosen Trump than Hillary.
So I agree 100%. Whatever Trump is going to think about it,
he have to think about it through the group and the community, which is telling him this is right and this is wrong. This is the United States. You don't talk that way. So I hope he thinks in the right direction, which is his counselors are going to support him with this.
Right. Building on what you say, Dr. Shuraiba, the United States and especially the Oval Office is not run by a one-man show, but by institutions.
Yes.
And according to what you're saying, Donald Trump rhetoric is not going to be implicated into actions. It's going to be polished and improved into the better. But how will that happen while there is even divisions inside the Republicans themselves? And we have seen Mr. Ryan, the Speaker of the Republicans, he expressed his disagreement with Mr. Trump. So how do you think Trump is going to handle that when he steps in office?
Well, you can disagree with me right now in anything you like. So the important is not you agree or disagree, because this is a community. We will come and say yes, and one will say no. So we do have 4 saying yes and 1 saying no. So yes is going to win. That's the very simple thing.
But is it the case in the United States? Is it a 1 against 10?
No, it would be, let's say...
It's a majority of no against
It is the majority
yes.
to minority. When you run the show, you're going to run for the majority, not for the minority. So when you have 10 in the Congress and saying no, and you have the rest with you, you're winning. So that's the important thing. I would like to focus on another thing. They think whatever they like to think, but we, as in the Middle East or as in Egypt, we have to think positive about our side and not reaction of their side. So once we say, they can do and announce whatever they like, but we can also announce what we want. And this is what have to be done. So when it comes like a very simple thing, and we are having a mutual understanding, which is standing against Daesh. So United States have the same will, we do have the same will. That's a good thing. When we have a differentiation, no, guy, you better wake up. This is not the right thing. You better do whatever we as people in the Middle East think about the Middle East. You don't think on our behalf.
What's the political background of Donald Trump, sir?
I beg your pardon?
What's the political background of Donald Trump?
Very limited.
Great. And this is exactly what I wanted to hear.
Yes.
Because what you were saying, I think it should depend at least a little bit on the political strategy, plans, background, or the political activity of the so-called president of the biggest power in the whole world. But when I am dealing with a man who has no political background, or as you've kindly mentioned, has a very limited political background. I should not bear in mind that he is going to understand me politically, or at least that he is going to have this vision of a politically oriented president, if you permit me to say so.
Yeah, but let's agree. I'm not supposed to know everything and about everything. We're supposed to, as a president, I should have a very super guys in the political...
Let me put my question in other words.
Yes.
Do you think that what Trump said or what Trump has done to gain the confidence of the Americans who voted for him, all what he has done in his presidential campaign, is really saying that he is qualified to occupy this position? A yes or no question.
According to the American people, whatever,
yeah,
they have qualified Clinton than him. But who suggested him and became the president of Egypt is not the people. It was
the United States, sir.
Yes.
Right, but let me get in here and say it's very obvious that the American people or the American citizens, or let me say it's not according to the citizens that choices are made most of the time. It's the politicians and policymakers.
Yes.
And the institutions once again.
Yes.
Now, it's very obvious that policy makers and decision makers, they are very tired of people who come from the repeated in administrations, and Hillary Clinton was going to be another repeated lame repetition of the Obama administration. Now they need a totally outsider.
Different.
He built his success on as an outsider. He built his success on the mistakes of the former administration of Obama. Now, the declining policies of Obama in the Middle East have affected in losing the long-time allies like Saudi Arabia, like Egypt, like many other countries, like sometimes and have also gained enemies like Russia. And let's put Iran on their side. So how do you think that Donald Trump is going to benefit out of this golden chance given to him on a silver tray, as they say, coming into office with no political background, like Nermeen kindly mentioned, but with fat opportunities of gaining the image of an outsider, a new hope for Americans and for decision makers and institutions to get the best out of that opportunity, and open new pages with Egypt, with Saudi Arabia, with Iran, I mean closing a page with Iran, I mean changing into foreign policy. How is he going to benefit with that in a smart way?
He already started this. He did start. The very simple thing, he said, I'm not interested of getting Bashar al-Assad out of the scene. I'm interested to get out Daesh. And that he got Russia, he got Egypt, he got most of the good countries in the Middle East who would like to have a stability in the Middle East. So his vision is not being given from his mind or taken like this. It was from some politicians, some people working there. This is their homework. They work and they study it very carefully, and they submit him with solution 1, 2, and 3. And they don't give him one choice. They always give him more than a choice. And then according to whatever situation, it is under his hand to recognize what the first step he should start with. So he thought of Daesh, and Daesh is a hilarious thing which media made them like a tycoon, and they are everywhere, and they are nothing. And you need to stop the sources of these guys, and the second thing, bomb them off. And that's a very simple thing, and this is what he's going to do. So he's going to secure whatever the people are threatened of, and that's the gaining confidence of his people first in the United States and the people out of the United States, like Russia, like China, like Korea. He's sending a direct message to North Korea, we will do this. If you don't respect the borders between South Korea and North Korea, we will do this. This message has different things. He's telling Saudi Arabia to stop one thing. He's not against Saudi Arabia, but stop supplying and supporting other military guys. No, military guys. I call them military because I'm not saying that they are Daesh, but Daesh has already gone in through them, and some of them is being loyal to them. But Saudi was not supporting Daesh. And let's agree on one thing: Saudi is supporting
extreme
the people
militants
of Syria. So we don't mix. But he has Islamic phobia.
This was going to be my coming question regarding this Islamophobia issue, sir. Because whenever I am talking about the President of the United States saying that he is going to do what he called Muslim ban, this is a big word, or a big statement, big words to be said. Would he be able to do this as he said, or this was only part of his propaganda? Taking into consideration that I think that Trump or the advisors around him would take into consideration that many of those, or the majority of those who voted for him, they have not voted for him because they wanted him. They voted for him because they did not want Clinton.
There was a very limited choice.
Yeah, amen to that.
I agree. Clinton was from the past, and he is another vision, and nobody knows what he is thinking about and what is his advisor are going to go for. So this is a better choice than taking a very old-fashioned with the old, and you know already what's going to happen, and the getting and changing this is very difficult because it is from the past. So Trump was a very successful thing for even the Muslims there.
Okay.
And not for...
Sir, are you telling me that Muslims in America now, they are not suffering fear that they are not going to be treated that well, or they are not going to continue their stay in America if they are not American citizens?
Well, they have a legal site to be in the United States. They have their passport as Americans, and they have the right to live in peace inside the United States. And he's talking about illegal guys.
Okay.
And let's take it from that point. Like the Mexicans, when he spoke about Mexicans, he's speaking about illegal Mexicans. He's not speaking about Mexicans who became U.S. citizens, who are working right now, and they are in every part. If you go to Miami...
I was going to touch on that particular point in my second question after Nermeen, because the Mexicans, they form a good deal, decent percentage of the labor force in the United States. And his address about the Mexican citizens and the Mexican immigrants and the idea of building a wall between on the borders wasn't really nice and amicable to Mexico. And it's not only his enmity towards the Muslims that he showed and reflected very strongly at the beginning of his presidential campaign, but it's his pride that he takes when he humiliates women and how he talks about women with disregard that really annoyed women activists so much in the United States. I mean, it's a complication of things. It's him against other nationalities and not accepting the other, the image of the white American.
No, my dear, he didn't
So,
no, he didn't say...
How is he going to handle that?
No, he didn't say, I don't accept the others. He said, I will not accept illegal immigrants. That's a very important... Let's be very precise about him. Second thing, he
won't be lenient with people of
when
other
he wants to make a wall, he wants to secure the borders of the United States. This is his right, because he's running the show, okay? But if you want to go into the United States, why don't you go through the legal terms?
In legal channels, yes.
So this is a very simple thing. So we don't talk about this. If he's talking about illegal things, yes, we accept it. If he's talking about illegal things living in the United States and he's going to humiliate them, no. That's a totally different thing. So Donald Trump is talking about illegals. So we don't take that. This is not our concern. It is his business, and he can do whatever he wishes. For Mexicans, for Muslims, for black people, for whatever the people, races there, they are the success of the United States. They are the mixture of success. United States success is from different parts of people, from China, from Korea, from Vietnam, from Egypt, from the Arabs, from everywhere. They are mixed together, and they are doing the best of their work to have the United States in the best way it should be. And that's an important thing. This is why we should consider, we should do this for Egypt. Even if we are from Upper Egypt, Lower Egypt, from anywhere, we should think and focus what we should do for the best of Egypt. That's the important part. Donald Trump, if he stepped in a wrong way to any legal guys inside the United States, he will be punished, and he will went to court, and he will be accused for this. So that's United States, the Constitution is there, and it's very tough, and he will get his penalty. For showing ladies surrounding him everywhere, it's like when I buy a Piaget watch, or I hold some kind of fancy shoes, or he's using kind of a fancy way to show himself. It's a showy guy. He's a showy guy from everywhere. So from the day he started in New York until this moment. Manhattan, I know Manhattan very well. And Manhattan was a very small buildings, and I was living in one Riverside Drive in front of the Hudson. So I know Manhattan, and I know when he started, we're talking about the 60s. So Donald Trump is a showy guy. That's no more than this. When you see a showy guy, let him do whatever he likes, because you know your capability and you know his standards, where he could move in, and he's what you call margin. He cannot move in out of it. Once more again, Egypt, Arab countries, people worldwide consider one thing. Donald Trump is the president of the United States. If he do good things, he's going to do good things for his people, not for you. He's going to do good things for United States only, for the citizens of the United States. For us, if it's matching with them, it will be okay. If it's not, he will do only for them. So we have to play our part, which is we have to stand for our rights, our things, our needs. If he is crossing this and he doesn't want it, we can really have lots of tools to tell him stop and be aware you're stepping into the wrong thing, wrong way, and wrong manner. Egypt is a strong country, and this is why he said the first country I'm going to visit was Egypt. Why? I think President Sisi has a very intelligent vision when he said, I see he's a powerful man. This was a small slogan mentioned there, and that's a very important thing. He mentioned this because the vision of Sisi is very wide. It's not. I'm not bluffing Sisi, but when he met Clinton and he met Trump, both of them they were in the same time. Even Clinton was the first one, but Trump was the second one. So, but he said the two words to them, and he recognized what he have said. Now, I really salute President Sisi for what he has said, because he has a vision. Now, what we think, what we should do about it.
Now, it's our homework, sir.
Yes.
Dr. Hussein Shuraiba, our economic and political expert, thank you very much for your input, sir.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you for coming, and we're going to go to a short break, and we'll come back to you, so you stay with us.